What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. You see the title and the thumbnail in today's video. Today, I'll be going over and giving you some reasons why I believe Fernando Tatis Jr.'s transition from shortstop to the outfield will hurt him more than it will help him. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so as you guys well know, last night Fernando Tatis Jr. returned once again from the injured list. He's back with the Padres. His first game back was in Arizona against the Diamondbacks. He's been on the IL about 3 separate times this season here in 2021. The first time was for a shoulder injury that he suffered on a backswing. The second time was due to a COVID-19 positive test. And then the third time, this time, was once again because of a shoulder. The same shoulder, he re-injured that shoulder by sliding into third base. So, he's back. And what does Fernando Tatis Jr. every time he comes back from the IL? Whether it's shoulder related or COVID related. What does he do? He hits a home run. And for good measure, he hit 2 home runs. And that was awesome. That was vintage Fernando Tatis Jr. In fact, Fernando Tatis Jr. last night was 4 for 5. 2 home runs, he hit the left field. So that was awesome. That was great news for the Padres. He did play right field. The first time he played the outfield in a professional game at the major league level. And, you know, he played it well. I mean, there wasn't any outstanding plays he had to make. There was no diving plays, no robbing home runs, nothing spectacular, but he got the job done. Couple of cans of corn out there for him in right field, about 3 of them I do believe, and he handled himself fine. And that's great news for the Padres. Him last night playing the outfield was no different than him shagging fly balls before the game. Because, you know, there was no high pressure situations and there was no high pressure plays that he had to make. But, you know, there will be if he continues to play the outfield, whether it's left field, right field, or center field. There's going to be, at some point, a high pressure situation, a play in which it requires him to go all out. And to be honest, I'm worried when that time comes for Fernando Tatis Jr. when he has to make an outstanding play in the outfield. Again, I flat out say, I'll say it here, I think Fernando Tatis Jr. transition to the outfield is the worst idea. It's the worst for them, it's the worst for him, it's the worst for baseball, it's the worst for the fans. It's a terrible idea. And I have 2 main points that I want to bring up to you today to prove to you why this is a bad idea. Okay, so my first point is a big one. That is his contract. Now, Fernando Tatis Jr. signed a 14-year, $340 million contract before this season here in 2021. He'll be with the Padres to at least 2034. He'll be with the Pods for a long time, and that's good. But again, you're paying him a lot of money. $340 million. That's the total. His AAV is about $25 million a year. In the last 6 years of his contract, they will pay him $36 million a year. That's at the back end. That's when most guys, you know, are going downhill. Now, the first year he gets paid $36 million, he'll be age 30, which isn't bad. I mean, he's still 30 years old. He's not 40. But, you know what happens? You get older, you know, by the time he becomes a free agent after 2034, he'll be 36. But again, they're paying him a lot of dough. And I'm sure the reason why for the Padres' willingness to go out and pay him all this money is not only because he's a great entertainer, a great baseball player, a great hitter. It's because he played shortstop, the most important position on the baseball diamond. Shortstop is a premium position. So when you have a premium player playing a premium position, you kind of expect to pay him premium price. And it all makes sense if he's playing shortstop. Now I know he makes errors, and I know, you know, he throws the ball over sometimes, and he misses plays, and he overthrows to first base and second base, and you know, maybe the backhand isn't what it should be yet. But you know what? Those are all mechanical things they can fix. He's still a young guy. They can fix those. He's really not like making bonehead plays. He's just straight up missing balls and overthrowing balls. And I think that's all due to mechanics, not mental stuff. So you can say, well, he's not really the best, you know, shortstop in baseball because look at all the errors he's made. I get that. But those are things that you can fix. Now, I think it's worth fixing, because I think as a Padres, you need him to play shortstop, because that's what you signed him to play. You signed him up to a gigantic contract, $350+ million contract, and you expected him to play shortstop. And, if he transitioned from, shortstop, after maybe year 6, year 7, year 8, fine. I get that. He's not going to be able to play shortstop for the full 14 years. That's just unrealistic. But you didn't expect this. You did not expect him to play, the outfield after year 1. Maybe after year 6, year 7, you expected him to play shortstop for at least the next 5 years. Am I right? So that's the one big problem. The Padres need him to play shortstop. And I think transitioning him to the outfield is devaluing him, because although he can make the routine play, he's not as experienced in the outfield as he is at shortstop. And I think if you're the Padres, again, you signed a shortstop. You did not sign an outfielder. And yes, a guy like Bryce Harper is an outfielder. He plays right field. He gets paid $330 million. I get that. But again, when the Phillies signed him, they knew he was going to play the outfield. And what is he doing? He's playing the outfield. When the Padres signed Tatis, they knew and expected him to play shortstop. And after year 1, that's not the case. So there's reason number 1. Now, the second reason why I believe Tatis' transition from shortstop to the outfield is a bad idea is because it's dangerous. It's extremely dangerous for Fernando Tatis Jr. to play the outfield. And you're saying, well, how can that be more dangerous than shortstop? Shortstop, you got to make all the plays. You got to make diving plays, this and the other. Yeah, you do. But the outfield is way more dangerous when it comes to the type of injury Tatis has suffered and is trying to avoid in the future. That is a left shoulder injury, a left shoulder dislocation. He originally hurt the shoulder on a backswing. It wasn't playing shortstop. It wasn't making a defensive play. It wasn't running into the outfield and making a diving play, as he backs up, to shortstop into short left field. It wasn't like that. I know that. It was on a backswing. That was the first injury. And the second injury, the one he re-injured it was a slide. I get that. He did not injure his shoulder making a outfield type of play at shortstop. I know that. But the type of plays you have to make in the outfield that aren't routine require a lot of stretching. Requires that left arm, that left shoulder to be exposed to hazards. So think about this. Fernando Tatis Jr. when he plays shortstop, yeah, he might dive to his left or dive to his right, but it's a short dive, it's a small dive, it's not a leaping dive, it's just a dive. And he might backhand to play here and there. I get that. But it doesn't require the shoulder to go through a lot of impact. It does not. The shoulder is not being exposed at shortstop. In the outfield, it is. Why? Well, because let's say he's playing right field. Let's say he has to come in for a little sinking line drive in the outfield. He has to come in, he has to run full speed, 100%, going max effort, trying to run and catch a ball that's sinking in front of you, going out like this, and slamming your body and your shoulder hard on that ground. That could not turn out well for Fernando Tatis Jr. if he has to go and dive with his left shoulder outstretched with his glove and his whole body going down on that shoulder as he's trying to dive for the ball. So that could cause a dislocation of the shoulder. Also, what happens if he's trying to rob a home run? Because Tatis can do it. You saw a picture of him doing it in BP. Again, that's BP. That's not max effort. And God knows if that was actually, a ball hit by somebody in BP, or is that some coach flipping it up to him? But the point is, if he's trying to rob a home run at max effort in the outfield, and he goes up like this, and he goes like boom, and he has his shoulder, and he bangs up against the wall, and he puts his shoulder back, and he kind of hyperextends it way back as momentum is taking his arm over the wall at max effort, along with him banging into the wall, that could dislocate the shoulder. Now again, these are all things that are highly unlikely, but they're more likely when you're playing the outfield, because Tatis is going to try to be a top 10 outfielder, and I think he can be. But for the Padres, this is a dumb idea. It's stupid. You want your number one guy, your franchise player, the guy you gave the most money to in franchise history, to go out there, play the outfield with a shoulder that's not 100%, whether he's telling you or not. Actually, he should probably have surgery on the shoulder, but he's trying to avoid it, which I give him props. But You want him to go out there and play the outfield? Just wait, guys. I'm telling you, just wait until they're in September or they're in the playoffs, God forbid, and he has to make a diving play or a home run robbing type of catch, and he hyperextends the shoulder, and as his momentum goes up against the wall, he puts his shoulder back, and it dislocates again. Because that's what's going to happen. If I was a Padres, I would put him back at short, because at shortstop, you pick up the ball, you backhand it, you might make a diving play here and there, but the type of dive at shortstop is not even close to the equivalence of the type of dive you make in the outfield. Whether you're playing center, left, or right, it doesn't matter. Like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below your thoughts. Hope you enjoyed. Hit that red button. Tell your friends about the video and the channel, and I'll catch you later.